A darkness bled across the land, and a world-devouring serpent carved chasms in search of something. Juno and Eyvind, powerful spellweavers who claim they can turn back the darkness, continued on to the Valka libraries, where a terrible confrontation left Manahar in ruin. The spellweavers now have no choice but to push into the darkness itself, protected only by a spell of light and a reluctant crew of mercenaries. Will they be able to drive away the darkness before all of Arborang and humanity is swallowed up? And at what cost? One way or another, the saga comes to a close.
I'm more worried about the bulwark I can see than one I can. Imagine little Aled hunting you through the darkness, trying to rip your throat out. Now imagine some ass accuses you of having feelings about it. I trust Saga. She has done a lot. We have trusted her a lot and it always went good. And I will trust her this time too. I've always liked you, Saga. That's why I gave you a chance to run. Without hesitation, Ulrich buries the axe blade deep into Saga's neck, and she falls into a bloody heap. I knew Saga would die anyway. But to be honest, I don't think the last time I tried to play it through, it was that point when she died. I believe there are many points where she can die. Maybe, I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting. If I may, I will replay that scene, and we will see if it ends up differently. So, we trusted her before, we shouldn't trust her at all, probably. Pull Saga away before something goes wrong. Jump, Saga. And Saga's alive. Things are suddenly moving too quickly to react. You heave Saga aside as Bulwark cleaves through one of your horns and buries his axe in the side of your face. Hot blood sputters forth. Your sight darkens and the room spins, but somehow Saga manages to drag you to the pit. Lightning arches from Avon's staff, scorching the ground around you in wild patterns, catching Bulwark's fur cloak on fire. Ravens reluctantly leap into the pit, and you follow, tumbling down into the darkness as the light from the hole above recedes. A roar rings in your ears, like the bellow of thunder. Bulwark leans over the edge, his face wreathed in flames from the smoldering cloak. It's the last thing you see before everything goes black. That was interesting. Going back to Albaran. So, we know now that Saga could die in this scene, and I think it's quite an interesting moment. Quite awesomely written, but I have to admit that I don't bring the point across I was trying to, so I'm doing it right now for you once again. I mean, every single interaction with Saga up until this point was kind of written in a way that I would trust Saga, right? And I think this is quite awesome, because I have asked him multiple times to give advice, to help out. And then to press not to trust her in that moment, it is quite difficult, you know? It is a difficult decision to say, okay, this moment I don't trust her, because you have trusted her, I've trusted her all the time before that. And she was always right. And I think this is quite awesomely written. And it's on purpose, clearly on purpose. So I will let Volker live now, but this is a one-time off. Every person that dies from here on out will stay dead. If I choose the wrong decision, I will keep it. I will keep it the way. I'm not reloading anything to save anybody else, except this one time off for Volker. If Volker dies the second time, she will stay dead too. So that's it. I will leave Volker alive. Although I think that the moment when she dies is quite awesome. So we need to be careful, very careful with our people. Sometimes you awaken more tired than when you fell asleep. Oh, we all know that. We all know that. This is one of those times. This is one of those times. A Leo is silently sitting bedside. I found out that I just press space instead using my freaking mouse. Finally! A Leo? Were you watching me sleep? What? No. Yes, I mean, Oddlife sent me to get you, you know? Wasn't sure whether to shake you awake or let you sleep. What is happening? Nothing good. Even if Outrugger, his followers are stirring up new trouble out by the gate. Oddlife's trying to talk some sense to them now. Oh, Jesus, not good, not good. Better hurry. Oddlife's there by herself? What are they arguing about? Oddlife's there by herself? She wanted to let you rest, but by the time I left, things were starting to become heated. I hate to say it, but we should bring as many clansmen as we can find. It could be a grave mistake to leave them behind. You don't think they'll be safer here? I don't think we'll be safe without them. Okay. We're not safe without them. The king is dead, as we know. Trouble ahead at the gates again. Long march there. Darkness is coming in. We don't even see the hills behind the hill right here. This darkness is so near. We might look to our heroes for a second. We don't have much, but we should. We should promote some of them. I was ready to fight, actually. Definitely go for Ruka Leo. We need Ilza. We need Hogan. We promote Luden, because we like Luden. Oh, I like Luden at least. Let's go. We use Luden. Maybe one of the Val. Urban. Morgue. We promote Morgue. I like Morgue. We use him as a tank. Should be fine, should be fine. Should be fine. We still have points to give. Petrus. As with the other group, we should split our points as much as we can. And you saw how easy people die. I will promote either Gris or Gudmunda now, or both. He's a missing eye. Interesting. We go for defy Gris. Oh. So, who's level 8 still? We have Tricky level 8, we have Gris level 8, we have Eagle level 8, and we have Roek level 8. Promote Roek to level 9. He's very strong in breaking, just like Scratchback. They're very similar. Very similar. We have a lot of level 9s in here, level 10s. But everybody needs a upgrade at some point. So instead of Morgan, we put Eagle in. Eagle. I will share trick these. Thing of Luden. Leo needs one. Still have 6 days of rations. Should be fine. We should be fine. Let's go. The next renown we should buy rations up to 10 days. You squint in the sunlight outside the cool shade of your tent, and a smell reminds you of the small farmhouse you once lived near in Skogr. The field is full of horseborn, a lot more than there were before. Uben stands in the midst, the shepherd of a confused folk. Okay. He's chatting with Gnov. Chatting up on lost time. They were friends in the very first game. Gnov and Uben. And I remember we played Uben at that point. Played as Uben, and we could compliment him on his green attire. And I did. Uben spots you and waves, beckoning you to join them. Come on, yes. These horseborn. Oh, what voice did I give Uben? Very deep, I guess. These horseborn lost a lot of leaders all at once. He tells you about new arrivals. They haven't found a lot of sympathy here in Arberang, despite helping defeat Ruin. Hate to crowd your camp, but what would you think about taking them under your wing? We had enough trouble with the horseborn already. Are you sure they want what? Are you sure they want that? I don't know. Let's talk about this another time. Are you sure they want that? We won't know until we ask, Ubin replies. In times like these, I believe it's better to have too many friends than too few. Approach the Horseborn or offer them protection under your banner. Have a Horseborn ally speak to them on your behalf. Maybe we could do this another time. Have a Horseborn ally speak to them on your behalf. Could be wise to make Canary speak to them. Several of the Horseborn who have traveled in your caravan are nearby. Considering Canary's trouble past, you think it would be best to leave her out of this. We have a veteran fighter, we have a tribe leader, or skilled trader. We go for Roak, tribe leader, to speak on your behalf. Roak raises his head as you approach. Do you know any of these Horseborn who arrived with Ubin? You ask. Ubin translates, chuckling. He asks if you know all the men in Arberang. Oh. Okay, Ubin is saying it. He asks if you know all the men in Arberang. Roak agrees to ask regardless. You can't make out the words, but Roak talks with a warrior's confidence, holding their attention. A conversation emerges. By the end, he turns to you and says, "Some join." 34 fighters. There are probably possibilities to make better or worse. My least favorite kind of mob, yes, okay. I can zoom in a bit if you want to. Through still gaping holes in the splintered walls, you glimpse the dredge indolently lurking. Blurry-eyed workers do their best to fill the cracks. The foreman spies you at the head of the caravan. Got any fighters with strong arms? God, no, we could use them, and they will be fed, well fed. Give them a token number of volunteer fighters to help patch the walls and stand guard. Give them enough fighters to get the job done quick, a few dozen at least. In order to make apologies and decline. We either give them as much as we have, or volunteers. Let's go for volunteers. It's all we can spare, you claim. Some clansmen don't seem to mind the chance to do something productive with their idle hands. 5 fighters. A few dozen. I wanted to give it a few dozen. You give him a 5. So many survivors occupy the dirt along the common path. They begin to blend together. A young girl conquers her shyness and comes begging for food at your feet. Others are inspired to do the same. Compared to these people, you have a considerable amount of supplies. The real question is how much you're willing to spare for those who aren't in your clan. Who will keep coming in the future? Okay, share your personal supply and allow your clansmen to do the same as they please. Leave a sizable bundle, ignore the beggars, promise to do what you can when you have time. I will share my personal bundle. Okay? And I will leave it open for everyone else. You hand the girl a small bundle and ruffle her hair before she runs off, but the rest, with open hands, don't share her sweet smile when you indicate there's no more to spare. 5 supplies. Damn, that's a day already. Who's this? What the hell? There's so many little details everywhere. What the hell are you doing at the tree, man? Dredge killer! Shouts a woman as you approach. Contrary to what sounds at first like an angry mob, the opposite occurs. Thankful survivors crowd around asking questions you can't answer. What if Dredge attack again? What if Dredge attack again? What about the darkness? What do we do now? I know as much as any of you. Hold out hope. I personally know the Valka are well on their way to fixing this. Things are bad, but we will survive one day at a time. Leave me alone. I'm no champion. I will go for this. This will hide them in a way. This will give them hope. And we become a better leader, you know? And they will work harder because they believe in surviving. They won't give up as easily. And at the same time, we win them over. We win them over and we have allies against freaking Ruger's idiots. So, let's go. Many of these survivors have no banner left to claim, but cheer their fealty to you and follow toward the gates. After your rousing speech, you don't dare send them away. And the 12th clansman